Wow. So, man, that speech the other night, the joint session speech, was quite impressive. I was watching the Joseph Mankiewicz version of Julius Caesar like a week ago too. It was kind of weird, but I I could not help but I could not help but be reminded of Julius Caesar. I mean, because I was watching, when he entered the joint session, when he entered the chambers, he doth bestride the narrow world like a Colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. I mean, truly, you got that. I got that feeling. I got that. It definitely felt like what I call it, an absolute colossus of American politics. And I seen Britt Hume said that um, right after the speech. Britt Hume said that, and he also said it was the most partisan speech he had ever heard, and he's right. But it was quite a brilliant strategy by Trump. I mean, he just totally neutralized uh, the Democrats, man, and they're embarrassing. They're truly embarrassing. Uh, to the way they behave, the way they've been behaving since 2016. It was just so sad, and I think Trump had a point there when he said, this is it just shouldn't be this way. It just shouldn't be this way. He's right. It should not be this way. And it's sad that it is, and it's not really. It's like they're willing to, they don't. They're supposed to care about America. They're supposed to care about how well we do, and it's like you should want the. I remember when I was a kid, there was a bus driver I had, and he was from Jersey, I think, or something, but he was like an older guy. He's probably dead now, but he was like 65, 70 at the time, and he had the New York accent or the New Jersey accent big time. Put your windows up, he said, put your windows. Your windows. It was funny. But I remember Bush was a president at the time, and he did not like Bush. He did not like Bush. And I remember I was in like ninth grade. I think no. I was in I was in middle school or ninth grade. And anyway, yeah, it was ninth grade. Anyway, I remember him talking about Bush and kind of, being kind of, or him criticizing Bush. But I remember one time we were talking about something, and somebody had attacked Bush or something in the press or in public, and he one day he expressed his disdain for how they were treating him, like, but you criticize him, or people were saying he's not my president or something, and this guy said, it doesn't matter what party he is, he's still my president, and it's such a shame because, oh my goodness, that doesn't exist anymore. It does not exist, and that guy was very much so, he was very hardcore Democrat, but there was, back then, it hadn't devolved to what it's devolved to today. And I mean, it's just sad that it's not like that anymore, and the guy was right. He's my president whether I like him or not. And I remember when Barack Obama was in office, I didn't particularly like, that he was going to fundamentally transform the nation, and we're kind of picking up the pieces from that now. But honestly, I never openly, like, I've always come from the school that if you don't have anything good to say, then don't say anything at all. That's probably um, your best bet. And you know, my mother always used to say that if you don't have anything good to say, then just keep quiet. Just keep quiet. You know, because it's very easy to for for to become disliked because of your attitude, you know, or because of negativity. And you know, it's not that things weren't that bad under Obama. You know, I can't. At the time, you know, things that were going on weren't that bad. And I remember seeing people get deported. You know, if they got arrested for marijuana, they got deported. ICE got them from jail, and I mean, every time within a couple of days, ICE would come round. You know, they come round people up. You know, every couple of days or every day or every couple of days, ICE would come into the jails and round up the guys. I remember there were, you know, Haitians and people like that. And you know, you should have thought of that. You know, like you committed crimes here. We were a nation. We were still a nation of laws at that point. But you know, that speech was just it was incredible. I mean, in the rhetorical, Trump really has evolved. He's not. That's not the same Trump from 2017. He's not like a dog, you know, inside of a sliding glass door, just like chasing out, you know, like freaking out about every squirrel that goes by. Because I remember that's how it was. You know, anytime anybody, and I would say maybe it was because of his own respect for although, well, I mean, maybe it was his own respect for the office, or he thought, you know, people shouldn't be disrespecting their president. But you know, he would retaliate. He would retort everything. He would become defensive about everything, and they saw that as being not presidential. And the other night he's older, he's mellowed, you know, what can you say? And he obviously doesn't feel like he has to prove anything, and why should he? You know, like I said, like a Colossus, this man took control of the Republican Party, grabbed the bull by the horns and wrestled it down, and you know, held it into submission for 12 years or 8 years so far, but 12 years. This guy, you know, is going to be the Colossus of the Republican Party, and he just and the fanfare. All of the House the House Republicans, I mean, they're all just glad handing, and they're all his supporters, and they're all, I mean, the way that they were, you know, cheering for him, jumping up to their you know, to their feet. It's not like it was in 2017. He is firmly in the cockpit. Firmly in the cockpit. He has complete control over all the levers of power. There's nobody in between him and the levers of power. He's not being undermined. I mean, he that first term, he did good stuff, but they really hindered him and really you know, tangled him up in a web and kept him from pursuing what he wanted, you know, the deep state or whatever, FBI and all them. This time, no. He had those 4 years to stew. And this time, all the Republican leaders are in line. Many of them are populist or Trumpian. They're this particular brand of republicanism. I mean, it's quite... no matter whether I like Trump or not, I mean, I must say, I have to give him credit for what he has accomplished in American politics. It's absolutely uh, wild that that he got voted out, got voted back in. I mean, the guy took over the Republican Party, and then over an 8-year period, stripped it of its never Trumpers, stripped it totally like a Colossus, just by the bull by the horns, imposed his will on that party, you know, and imposed his. I mean, it's just like awesome, you know. It's so awesome that because I've seen Republicans my whole life have been. They would rather lose. They would rather lose gracefully or lose lose gracefully than win dirty, and that is so stupid because politics is a zero-sum game, more or less. At least presidential politics, it's a zero-sum game. You can't do anything if you don't have power. I mean, you look at the Democrats right now. That's where that winning or losing gracefully stuff comes from. And, you know, the left, they have shown that the ends justify the means in their minds, and they're willing to go all the way. You know, they're willing to they pull out all the stops. They don't, you know, if they had gotten in office, they would have gotten rid of the filibuster. They would have added, packed the Supreme Court. And they would have done all that. They would have thrown all the caution to the wind. And it's just dumb. We're playing for keeps at this point, you know. And it's like, they must be deterred. You have to deter them, you know. Like, you can't just roll over. We'll never do this. We'll never do that. You know, we'll never. You know, I don't like breaking tradition. You know, and I don't think we should. But, you know. They're talking about getting rid of the filibuster. That's crazy, you know. I don't think we should do it first or anything, but we should take steps to, like, I seen Ben Shapiro say like a year ago that he should, you know, to the Democrats say, or the Republicans say, look, give the Democrats a deadline that, you know, unless they're willing to pass a law to put the filibuster in law, then the Republicans just get rid of it in a year. Give them a year's time, and if they don't want to get rid of it, or if they don't want to enshrine it in law, the Republicans get rid of it, and then they start hammering laws home. Because that is what the Democrats will do if they get back control, although I don't know when that's going to be, because they're just a non-entity. I mean, it's so sad. And I almost want to say that party has become the party of women and low testosterone men. You can see it in their politicians, and that pathetic scene of them all with their little signs, their church fans. It was so pathetic. Like, that's all. Like, it boiled everything they think down to their terms of thinking. One little phrase: false. Musk steals. Like, that's the level you're thinking at, really? You know, it seemed so sorority, so high school mean girls or high school girls, like getting into their crafts, their arts and crafts, and, you know, like bringing, it's like prop comedy or something, you know. It's just, cringe, so cringe. And, you know, that's one thing about this next generation, the Zoomers. Man, if you're, they turned a lot of people off on Wednesday. A lot of people got or Tuesday evening. A lot of people were turned off by that. The young kids don't like cringe, and that was cringe. That was bad. It was bad. It made them look petty and childish and like teenagers, petulant teenagers. Me. That's how they just looked like children. And it's funny, when they zoomed in on a couple, I remember one of them was clapping for, what the heck was that guy clapping for? I forget. One of them, he had a Ukrainian blue and yellow tie on, and he was clapping for something. Didn't even realize it, and he starts looking up behind him. And he's like, "Oh shit!" And whoops, stops clapping, and then he does this. He goes from clapping, and then he thinks about it for a second. He's like, "Fuck it." I mean, it just he naturally wanted to clap. He was clapping without thinking and had to catch himself. That was the state of mind they were in. Like, we're just not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We're not going to clap. And it's like, really, you're going to actually go against your natural inclinations and the way you would naturally react. You're going to suppress that, actively suppress that. Oh, that doesn't look good, man. That does not look good. It doesn't look good. It makes you look inhuman. Makes you look like a robot. To do that. That it doesn't look good, and I'm so ashamed of this party, the way that they've comported themselves. Ugh. It's just cringe. I think there's an absolute case to be made for a Democrat Party. They, I like some of what John Fetterman says, and it's crazy. I seen that what's his name, Gavin Newsom, just came out. He doesn't think women should be in or boys should be in women's or girls' sports, and he's the first one to break with them on that. And obviously it's going to just domino from there. I mean, it's about to start changing if Gavin Newsom did it moderated. So. But, they really did not do themselves any favors. None. And Trump, he set a trap for them, and they walked into it gladly. And it's hard to have any more, it's hard to be understanding to that. It was so inhuman the way they were. Their hatred of him. They're so consumed by their hatred. That bothers me. Why are they so consumed by their hatred? I like that. I was watching that movie Conspiracy the other day with Kenneth Branagh and Stanley Tucci and Colin Firth, and there was a scene, one of the guys in there, Kritzinger, speaks to Heydrich and tells him a story about a friend he knew that his father, he hated his father. His father treated him like crap when he was growing up, and he loved his mother. His mother doted on him. And when his mother died, nothing. Not a tear. Not a tear. But, he didn't speak to his father for like his whole adult life, and his father dies, lives to a ripe old age of 80-something, and the guy goes to his funeral, and to his dismay, he bursts into tears, and he's bawling like a child at his father's funeral. And the moral of the story is that the man had let hate for his father drive him for so long, and had let it consume him for so long, that when his father died, he no longer had anything. His motivation, the thing that was driving him, was gone. He had let it consume him, and that hatred he had let it overtake him. And when his father died, it was gone. There was nobody there to hate. There was nobody there, or there was nothing left driving him once his father died. So, and the moral of the story is, don't let yourself be consumed by hate, because and that's what the guy was saying, is a warning to Heydrich. Don't let your hatred for the Jews consume you. Basically, don't let your hatred for the Jews cloud your judgment into losing the war and us being all hung. Basically, like, if we kill the Jews at the expense of our war machine, which they did, they instead of spending money on the war, they literally kneecapped their war machine against us so that they could kill more Jews. And it was their undoing, more or less, or it was one of the things that was their undoing. And the Democrats have let themselves be consumed by hate, and I wonder, when Trump is gone, what will be their nom de plume? I mean, that's literally been behind everything they do. They're totally reactionary. Totally reactionary. They have no strategy because Trump is coming at them with a strategy they've never seen before, and they don't know how to handle it because he's coming with out of the box ideas. They don't have no idea what they're doing, really, and it's so sad to see. And they have no leadership, and by golly, the Republicans have leadership. I mean, J.D. Vance, he looks like he's going to be awesome. But anyway, that I mean, what a week it has been. What a week it has been. The previous week, it's been incredible. Just so much going on, and I did just see before I started this recording that China is talking about war. So we'll have to see about that. But anyway, I just wanted to pop on and talk about that speech. Hit that like button if y'all could, and I don't expect not to be criticized for the things that I say, because they're opinions. Everybody has opinions, and I don't expect everybody to agree with them, and it doesn't bother me if somebody disagrees with me. I mean, honestly. And I'm not so set in my ways or my views that I am blindly one way. I've become a lot more pragmatic about things, but I'm more or less just spitballing and just talking about things in my that I've been mulling or pondering. But I don't necessarily I'm not trying to offend anybody or anything, and I'm watching politics, and it's interesting, and every once in a while I'll share something that I think, or something that I used to think, or whatever. But I'm not offended by anybody else's opinions, so I would hope that you're not offended by mine. I don't mean, I'm not trying to be abrasive or anything like that. Because I was saying in the last video that like talking about government workers and stuff, but honestly, that's not how I feel. I would honestly, it would be nice to get a job doing working for the city or something like that, actually. Not only that, but my other grandfather was a major in the Air Force. His wife was retired from the state, worked for the state for 20 years. So I mean, I was just saying that's how my dad thinks. It's ridiculous, honestly. But and it kind of pisses me off when he does it sometime, or the way it's very judgmental. I don't like it. That's why I part company with my father. Is he's very, very judgmental and makes no bones about it. It's kind of, I'm not super into it, but I still think the things I do, and that, and the reason why I was talking about it, I was just saying, this colors the way that I see things, whether I like it or not. He's my dad. I don't have a choice. I didn't pick my old man, and nobody, none of us do. You can't help being like your father, But I mean, of course, me, I take a step back. There have been things that my dad has done my whole life that I've always frowned or thought less of. With, you know, I love my dad. He's a very good man, very good. You know, one of the best I've ever known. But I don't agree with him on 100% of things. And when I was talking about that, I was just saying that he used to talk like that. I don't really talk to him about that stuff anymore, but it's just, you know, it's just something that colors, you know, the way I see things. But anyway, enough of that. Hope y'all are, you know, hope y'all have had a good week and everything's going good. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. You know, I like the criticism. You know, if you have criticism, I like, you know, I like to hear you guys' thoughts. You know, honestly, and I'm not afraid of having my views challenged or my opinions challenged. I'm not perfect, so you know, as far as I'm concerned, I don't expect to get everything right or get anything right necessarily. You know, I don't know everything, but anyway, I'll let you guys go.